Hey everybody. So some of the feedback I got from the post I shared the other day was that it needed some examples. And so I'm here today to share an example of what I was talking about and give a little sneak preview of what we'll be releasing soon with Sublayer. And so I'm going to get this going while I talk. The main idea behind the post was that there are two main tasks that you're doing as a software engineer, and that's building abstractions and then using abstractions. And it turns out that LLMs are really good at using abstractions and using any of the ones that you build and define for it. And so that's the main idea behind what we've been building a sublayer, which we're calling and referring to as blueprints. And so what you just saw me do was I highlighted this code, which is in a Flex index view, which is a relatively new Rails templating library. And so, not much training data in GPT-4 yet. Especially not much training data of the particular index page view structure that I'm using for this app. But I stored that as a blueprint. I stored the code as a blueprint, and what the blueprint server does is it creates a name, it creates a description that you and your team can go ahead and edit and add more and more additional information if you want. Absolutely not needed. I'm not going to do it for this demo. But stored the code, stored that as a blueprint. And what we can then do is, I'll go ahead and generate this. A lot of the ways that we work as software engineers is, realizing that this particular task that I'm working on is very similar to, some other section or class or part of the code. And so we go look at that piece of similar code, we adapt it for the particular use case, and we make sure that the entire app is in a similar style. That workflow is possible with LLMs. What you just saw as I was talking, I stored the blueprint index view as a blueprint itself. It created a description, it created embeddings, and then all I needed to do in my app that I'm building is say, I want a new index, an index page for users. And it generated the users index view. It generated the same structure that we're using where there's a section and a aside, and the user views in the section and the user list is in the aside. And this is a particular, case with index views, but this works for essentially any class that you want to define. And so, another example that I've used in the past that if you've been following these videos, I've done this demo before, but using it in this pattern or using it in this workflow is very powerful and exciting for me. So here's the sublayer agent class that we've defined. Again, not going to be in the training data for GPT-4. It's got this type of interface. It's got some custom stuff that's, descriptive, but by and large, very, very, very custom. But what we can do is say we want to create another agent that takes a description, or that takes code and generates a description from an LLM. And I've stored the blueprints in the past. We can generate the blueprint, generate this code from the blueprint, and taking this description and throwing it in. The same way that you might joining a team, looking at the code base, being like, okay, so like this is this class that we have. I'm going to need to create a new custom class that does this other thing. By and large, we're going to use the same interface. We're going to use the same abstraction that the team uses. And you can get very far. And so now that you have this code, you can go and customize it however you like. But you don't have to worry about, will the LLM write the code in my style, because it is using your style to generate. And it works just that fast. Like you saw the index view for Blueprint getting defined and using it right away. That can be used throughout your team and not just your team, but libraries can then start doing things like this where you can have a lot of examples of the patterns and functionality that a library enables. You drop that in as a bunch of blueprints for your app, and then use that as bases to generate from. So I hope this was interesting. I hope this was exciting to see, and it made sense. And again, we're here. There's a VS Code plugin and a Vim plugin, working on an IntelliJ plugin. If this looks interesting to you, I'd love to get it in your hands and hear what you think. Reach out if this is interesting. Thanks.